Hi, this is Steph. I'm guessing you probably guessed that. It's the name of my channel's Stephanie Green, so it would stand to reason that I'm Steph, and you guys never get to see him. That's my big guy. That's Rascal. Rascal, hey, there he is. A handsome guy, huh? He's Shepherd Pitbull Chow, Shepherd Pitbull Chow. Oh, boxer mix, and he's very weird. But anyway, my producer Honey is usually over there, but he took her spot. So anyway, and someone had asked if I could put a video up of my dogs, and I have a really funny one, and my other one jumping up at the window at the back door, and I can't. It's somewhere in here. I can't find it, but it's not. It's real quick. It's like a minute or two long, and but it's hysterical because the first time she did it, she just was jumping up at the window like, "Hello, let me in." So if I can find that, I'll put it up. But um, number one, I just wanted to say I just got off the phone with the regional EMS council here. That they cover like so many counties in an area, and it probably varies depending on size of counties and whatnot. But every region in PA has a an EMS council, and they oversee all the different ambulance companies and whatnot. So I just got off the phone um, with the guy who will be investigating the case with Mike, and we talked for quite a long time, and he made the point that just as I sorry, or dog going after cat. Um, he made the point, just as I was trying to make the point, that had I been a layperson and not known anything about what EMS does, I probably wouldn't have known that they were screwing everything up. And I told him that this was not about retribution. It was not about, you know, being mean to people or, what have you. I said, I don't want to see other people go through this or, get just clearly incompetent people responding, expecting that they're going to get help, and, you get a three-ring circus. And I emphasized that there is no way to prove that had they gotten Mike to the ER sooner, there might have been a different outcome. My gut is telling me that that's the case, but there's no way to say definitively. But I said certainly delaying getting him out of the house, because that should have been a scoop and run, as or a load and go, as we used to call them. Um, I said if nothing else, they should have recognized this was an emergent patient who needed to be gotten on the way as soon as possible. So we had a very nice, very in-depth conversation, and I'm not going to get into all kinds of details, but um, he did sound concerned, and um, this guy's also paramedic, and so it does sound, at least, I don't know at the state level. I not much good to say about that kind of stuff, but at least here at the local level, it sounds like this guy is going to, you know, poke around and see exactly what happened and what did not happen that day and so forth. Um, so I'm just waiting on, uh, further communication or what have you. And then, so just, a step at a time. But I believe I had said at some point I would put something up when I had some word on a complaint and possible investigation. So it does sound like, at least from that guy's perspective, um, he sounded like it definitely was something that needed to be, uh, investigated further. So, but I said I was going to put up a video about some of the liquid things that I use for natural things that I use for my health. um, what little health I have. Um, but I'm very excited because instead of taking a gazillion different supplements, which I am going to go over things, I mean, I still am going to continue certainly to take a multivitamin and a multimineral, because the minerals especially is, I mean, we're all deficient in minerals, and I can guarantee you you're deficient in iodine and magnesium and probably vitamin D, unless you spend a lot of time outdoors in the summer like I do. But in the winter, like we're all deficient in vitamin D. Um, but today I just wanted to go over, it's just three. I don't have the one. I'm waiting on its arrival, and I don't think I can actually say it on here, so I wrote it down. I don't know what you can say and what you can't. I don't want to get arrested for saying. And again, let me preface by saying these are things that I have either done or am planning to do for my own health. This is not medical advice. I'm not a provider. I'm not an expert in natural medicine, although I have learned an awful lot in the last few years. Um, but I have high hopes that between these three liquid substances I'm going to talk about, that it might be all I need besides continuing to eat relatively healthy food as much as I can afford. Excuse me, and taking the multivitamin and mineral supplement. So, but the first one, oh, you can see that backwards to me. I think it's okay for you. This is like the forbidden. Um, you can't talk about this, but and I don't honestly even know exactly what it's comprised of. Um, maybe I can get into that at a different time. But like I said, I have not used it yet. I'm waiting on delivery. It's not expensive. It's a two-part solution, and again, I'm not sure. I'm not going to go in, but you have to mix the one part, and then you mix the other part in, and it should turn like an amber or sort of a yellowish brown color. And then you just start out with a little teeny weeny, like a drop, in a day's time, or even maybe a third of a drop, which would be, you'd put it in a cup of water and then take one third of the cup. Um, and so I can't really say anything about it but I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, and I've read an awful lot, and I know of people who use it and say they're getting amazing results with all sorts of things. And again, I'm not sure what I can say and what I can't say, but with this CRPS that I have, um, doctors are useless. I mean, they just are, and I'm determined uh, just get rid of it to get it cured. Um, so that's the first one. Second one, again, I don't know when I can, but you can see that. And this is not that expensive. I got this off Amazon. It's dimethyl sulfoxide, and it's actually a byproduct of wood. It's when they make paper and stuff. It's a byproduct, but it's good for like pain relief. It's my understanding they use it a lot in sports medicine. I know I was never in sports or sports medicine, so I don't know, but that's what I've read. And when you get this, I didn't know when I first ordered my first bottle. I was just putting it on full strength. And it does tend to burn, and your skin will get dry and all flaky and stuff. And I didn't know that you need to dilute this down. I mean, it didn't hurt to use it full strength. But the other thing is, if you do get this and you use it, when you put it on topically, you should get like a garlicky taste in your mouth. And I'm not saying like if you put it in your mouth. I'm saying if you put it on topically, you should get that taste, that funky taste in you. I'm trying to think. There's like maybe when they give you anesthesia or something, and you get that kind of funky. weird taste in your mouth. I'm not quite sure how that all works, but it's somehow it travels and gets into your taste buds or your olfactory nerves or whatever, and you get that weird taste. But I had ordered some others, which was this bottle, and I don't recommend it. This one's 100% pure medical grade, and this one is 99.995%. I don't really know what the difference is, but this one I got the garlicky taste in my mouth, and you get a slight garlicky odor from it. And this one, there was like no garlic, nothing. So I'm not even sure if this stuff's any good. So I just reordered another bottle of this, and I actually bought this bottle a long time ago. It's like $29 now, it's 27 or 29, but this lasts a long time. And I just recently found out, I didn't know this previously either, that you can take this internally, but I have not tried that yet, and I'm not going to like give any advice on that or anything. I'm just saying I'm going to try this for myself, but I would like to recommend, um, especially if you like to read, or even if you don't like to read, you should go read this stuff anyway. Go to substack.com, substack.com, and look up number one, a Midwestern doctor, and my favorite, his is called Surviving Healthcare, and he is Dr. Robert Yoho, Yoho. He's a retired doctor, and I believe he went into cosmetic surgery because he got frustrated that he couldn't really cure anything. But since retiring, he's really gotten into all these natural remedies. But between just those two Substacks, there's a wealth of information on not only this, but the other one that shall not be named. Um, so I highly recommend you go do your own research and read both those guys' Substacks. There's just a wealth of information, and there are people. Dr. Yoho has a link to a woman if you want to talk to her. I think it's 175 for, I don't know, 45 minutes, or I don't know. You'd have to look. Carrie Rivera or Kelly Rivera, I think is her name. Um, and she can tell you exactly how to use these two substances properly for, whatever you're trying to cure. Um, so I'm excited to start trying this one internally. I got some aloe vera juice because Dr. Yoho, he does 70% DMSO and then 30% aloe vera juice, and to take it internally. And I'm just going to start out with like a little tiny bit and then work my way up. And the last one, and this is like another miracle, castor oil. There's a channel on YouTube. It's called Eternal Health. It's Dr. Barbara McNeil, who is a naturopath out of Australia. Or she has an Australian accent, so I'm assuming she's from Australia. I don't know if she lives there now, but she has a lot of information on castor oil, and you can buy this. Like Walmart has it for internal. Like if you're constipated, which I can think of better ways of taking castor oil internally. But the one thing she talks about incessantly is if you put a compress on, which is what this is. Um, I've had this on now, I don't know, like 5, 6 days around the clock. I mean, I take it off, take a shower, do my dishes, that kind of thing. But otherwise, I've had this on, and she'll show you how to make a compress. You can make it out of a, a puppy piddle pad, training pad, or a bed, one of those bed pads, or I just used a 5x9 bandage, and you can put some kind of plastic saran wrap or whatever underneath, just so the castor oil doesn't get all over everything. But this breaks up not only bone spurs but scar tissue, and I have a lot of scar tissue in these fingers here, and I'm always very skeptical, but I I thought, well, I'm going to try this because I have nothing to lose. And so I've, like I said, I've had it on now. I lost track, but for, I may say 5 days. And I'm actually my index finger. I don't want to completely unwrap this because I just redid it. But my index finger was like permanently bent like this, which was fine. It was better than having the swan neck like this one is. But the problem is I couldn't straighten it, but now I can straighten it. And I also can bend these. But they were I had surgery back in February of last year, and then I went through um, up until about a month and a half, 2 months, about 2 months ago, I guess. I went through PT like 3 times a week since last February up until about 2 months ago because my fingers were stiffening back up and my middle finger was starting to swan neck again. And so I got back to see my surgeon the end of December, and I'm hoping maybe by the time I go back to see him, uh, that maybe the middle finger won't be swan necking and I might be able to avoid that surgery, but I just have to see. But, I'm impressed after only 5 or so days with how much more movement I have in these. It's hard to move these without moving this, but, um, they weren't even doing that. So, I mean, I'm thrilled about that. Because I thought, well, here, because, the surgeon did tell me, he said they might swan neck again, they might stiffen, they might freeze the way they had been. And, I went through all that hard work and all the PT and I did all the home exercises and I was very vigilant and faithful in doing all that just to have them start to go back the way they had been. And if I had known this little trick, I might have avoided all the surgeries, but I didn't know. But this is why I sit here and dig up any and all information I can find and then I just try stuff on myself. But um, I've heard different people say that you should buy it only in a brown bottle. Now, Dr. McNeil says it doesn't matter. Some say you should get the clear castor oil. Some say you should get the dark brown. This is clear castor oil in a dark brown bottle. It's organic. It's hexane free, extra virgin, and expeller pressed. I've heard you should get it cold pressed. According to Dr. McNeil, she's just like, just get castor oil. You don't have to get all fancy. You just want to keep it out of direct sunlight. That's why the dark bottle. Um, but I mean, I'm impressed with it's. It seems like maybe it is breaking up the scar tissue. So I couldn't have asked for anything more than that. If I get more movement, so we'll see. Um, but as far as liquids, that's the only liquid stuff I use. I'm just looking on here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. So I'm sorry I didn't get anything up sooner. I wasn't feeling real good, and I just with Thanksgiving, I sat here and I had a couple spoonfuls of peanut butter, and of course my goofy neighbor across the road had to come in. She popped in on her way to her niece's so she could tell me how much she was looking forward to a nice ham dinner and seeing the family. And then her ex he was making a turkey, so he was gonna bring her a plate with turkey and all the fixings and I had everything here. I mean, we had a turkey. We grew sweet potatoes in our garden, so I was looking forward to some nice mashed sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top. And we had the fake champagne. I think Welch's makes it or whatever. And we only ever got that stuff on the holidays. And but I wasn't gonna make a great big meal just for myself, so I had a couple spoons of peanut butter and my usual coffee. My These kind of sort of match my plates, but a friend of mine gave me these. My plates are the color, the flowers are different. These are those Pioneer Woman, and I'm not usually into like any name brand. It's just that Mike and I had a mishmash of all these mismatched plates. So when we moved in here, I said, I'm getting one set of matched plates, but they didn't come with coffee mugs. So anyway, um, so next time I will put up, probably won't be all the supplements I've tried because that's getting into a pretty extensive list, but I'm gonna at least start delving into them and what they're good for, and what my results were, and blah blah blah. So I didn't want to get this too long, and as usual, yes, I'm in my usual uniform here, but it's like 33 degrees outside, and I've got my wood stove going, and I was like dripping. Plus, I just can't stand all that heavy clothing. So, um, I'm sorry I'm always wearing men's underwear, but it's just what I'm comfortable in. So, um, again, if anyone has stuff that they use for like a chronic illness or chronic pain, please leave it in a comment for, someone else might benefit, or, I might benefit. And I would really like to get a back and forth going for, I'm really hoping that some of the things that I use and have benefited from will benefit others. But it works the other way too. If people read through the comments, and if there's something that you're trying and it's something I haven't tried, I probably would be willing to try it. And 'cause I'm always looking for anything and everything that'll help keep my energy up, and keep the pain down, and so on and so forth. So that's it for right now. And again, I thank you for watching, and I will see you whenever I get the next one up. Thanks. Bye.